Imagine you come to Canada with a dream. The dream is you're an engineer and you want to work in the petroleum industry, so you come to Calgary where all of that's happening and you get a job with a big company and you start a family and life is good. And then you get laid off. And then Ralph Klein says, we are going to sell off all our liquor stores and allow private enterprise to take over. And this guy and 3 partners start OK Liquor. And the 2 kids work there. And the 2 kids get a good idea of the liquor business. And how did those 2 kids end up with that man and his wife looking at this next picture and saying, I can't believe that's my daughter. How about that? Huh? If that isn't a success story, I don't know what is. And if that isn't what a proud papa and mama will clap for, I don't know what is. So would you please welcome onto our stage Moni and Manjit Minhas. Come on out here. Tell me, if you had to describe your dad, how would you describe him?
Well, pretty relaxed, I would say. Not a strict dad. And for sure taught us hustle and happiness, that there's no point in working day in and day out if you're not happy.
What do you think you use still that you learned from your dad growing up?
First and foremost, that an individual, you have to be happy in what you're doing. You have to love it, and you really have to have passion for it. Otherwise, you will not be successful today, tomorrow, 10, 20 years in the future.
Really?
Every day is, 2 days are alike, and that is a lot of the fun, whether I'm shooting Dragon's Den or whether I'm in my real world, running a beer and spirits company with my brother, and traveling the world and meeting new customers and selling in new countries. So yeah, it is a lot of fun for sure. And in the end of the day, we get to sell and make great product.
When you look back at raising your children, what can I steal from you? What are the things you say, you know what, I'm glad I did this because it worked? What would that be?
I was in Malaysia. I used to teach engineering seminars, and there was an older lady, and then this lady said to me, she said, son, you know you want to be proud of your kids, right? I said, yeah. She said, but what you don't know is that your kids want to be proud of you also. So that means that you have to set a very good example. I think that was number one thing, was to this day and forever, had to be a very good example for my kids. Another one that I think that's a little different than others, that I wanted to raise them as non-conformists. So when I need to tell them to do something better, I just say, you're acting like everybody else, and you're not everybody else. Never listening to authority. Here's a good one.
My mom didn't love that one.
She was very young, went to Dr. Todd, our family physician, for 30, 35 years. And she come home and she said, Dr. Todd said, do this. I said, so what does a doctor know? And she goes back next time and said, Dr. Todd, my dad said, you don't know anything. So, I didn't go to see him for another year, maybe for whatever reason. He says, what the hell are you teaching your kids? I said, I probably told them that doctor, teacher, father, grandfather, don't listen to any of them. Whenever they say something, challenge them. I think that we all would have to agree, seriously, is that there's any law made, any bylaw made by a government, by a company, half the time it's right, half the time it's wrong. So I like to challenge the half the time at least. And I can honestly say there's a lot more fun, and you win most of the time. If everybody made beer with barley, I'd say, well, make beer with horse's piss, see what it turns out. I don't know.
We don't. My dad is not the brewmaster.
No, kidding now.
Sometimes we like to conform. He's not a part of the marketing department.
How about these two, Moni and Manjit Minhas? Thank you so much.
Thank you.